the reality TV show The Shahs of Sunset, at the time of its announcement, caused an uproar among the Iranian American community, but went on to last a decade, with various characters changing over the years. What was the legacy of this initially controversial TV show depicting a group of quote-unquote young Persian Americans in a position to live and die in LA? And what are my thoughts on the 10th anniversary of this show? Feel free to like and subscribe, and let's find out.
Hello, we're Persian.
I'm not trying to be all cool and for people.
Typical Persian guy who goes out with a Swedish model.
You're not Persian, huh? Where are you from? Mexico.
Disrespect the barrio.
Nivayo.
I'm what you call an alpha male.
I want to talk to you.
It's into Kareem. Kareem swing left.
And the good thing about me is I'm very, very humble.
Your uterus exploded because you have had abortion.
فقط همینو بلدی. شراب بخور و گری کردن در چیه داریم حرف میزنی.
Shall I say why you're a fan? Should I say why you're just a... Oh, I'm not even going to speak to your...
You'll hear from my attorney because I will sue you for breach of contract. In LA, Beverly Hills, Hollywood, everyone.
We're from the hood.
You guys are not from the hood. One, okay?
It's LA. Like, it's Watts, it's Cali.
LA has the largest population of Persians outside of Iran.
You have your own relationship, son.
You're taking Asa's position to wear your green wigs and go san. He started to supersede his grandiose Ghormeh Sabzi narcissism.
If he wants to bomb Iran, I'm totally in support of him.
I can say anything I want, ooh, bomb Iran, ooh. If you could just see he's a hurt kid.
How come you didn't ever call me?
Yeah, he's just in need of a cuddle when he says things like that. No. This isn't the 80s anymore with Kim Basinger. Look at this Nordic blonde girl. Now, Middle Eastern is considered the height of a female attractive woman in the Western world.
Hello, we're Persian.
The show centered on a group of real estate agents and property developers, with an unemployed princess and an unemployed pop priestess thrown in for good measure, thus helping us, the Iranians, to be perceived not as the extremist bad guys, but a bunch of alcoholics and cheeseballs. This show, at its best, was never entertainment gold. However, for the first few seasons, did give the second generation Iranian American community and broader second generation Iranian diaspora the recognition it required. Then of course, just degenerated into Jerry Springer-esque reality TV, with a bunch of aging Gen Xers and older millennials desperately holding on to their youth.
We did fillers.
By any means necessary. So now, we're gonna focus individually on each Shah of Sunset in this 10-year anniversary special. So without further ado, let's look at the first cast member, Asa.
We left Iran with one suitcase each. We just lived in the ghettos and the hood of Beverly Hills.
The Peruvian pop priestess.
Asa says she's her. Asa says she's Peruvian gangster.
Sorry, Persian pop priestess.
I'm a Persian pop priestess. That's my job.
What the hell is that?
The struggling artist with a manufactured salt-of-the-earth persona.
And limited definition of being real in my world.
Which is qualified by her boyfriend Jermaine Jackson Jr.
Yes.
That's right, the nephew of him. The guy who comes off like a fake Candyman.
Be my victim. I'm gonna love this food.
He's a right cringe lord, isn't he?
Yes.
Woman, I'm gonna ask you some real simple questions, and I want some real simple answers. Is there or is there not Ghormeh Sabzi in the bag?
Is there Ghormeh Sabzi in it?
Yes.
Oh my god, babes. Ghormeh Sabzi. Ooh. Ah.
They grew up working.
What if I want to make dinner for Daddy?
Daddy's at the studio, working.
Let me get back to work.
The second she goes out the studio, he's back on Hub. Whoever heard of Jermaine Jackson Jr. as a successful artist? That's a hobby, not a profession. He's wanking. He's creaming himself like Khan in Star Trek 2. Here's my thing with Asa. She's cool overall. I have no problem with Asa, but she's just too stuck in the 90s.
Daddy.
This whole I'm real.
Being real.
You wanted to make yourself edgy by being perceived as the one who interracially dates, and you know, her whole community's against you.
The way Persians look at us, I mean, I don't know how to describe it.
I'm like, babe, when the show started, it was already 2012. Interracial dating was already normalized in the 90s by the Gen Xers, with films like Jungle Fever, hip hop culture, etc.
We don't care?
It's beautiful.
I don't mind her doing that. That's her trajectory. That's her story. That's how she's going to express herself. I'm just observing her, saying she's a bit out of date.
What was the term that he used that was bad?
I used the word black.
How dare he bring up the fact that my man is black when we don't.
But why is that an insult?
It's not a big critique that, oh, she's saying she wants to make Persians look good, but then she's saying they're prejudiced. I get it. It's her niche. Basically, she was trying to make her narrative look more juicy and interesting, which is cool. But I'm here to critique and say, all right, you're a bit played out, babe. That boat sailed about 10 years ago. Other than that, she was still pretty Persian despite dating a non-Persian. More positive note, I respect her in terms of her life journey, her trajectory, whatever. She left Iran as a kid. She was a refugee in Germany. Believe me, if she had have stayed in Germany and not gone to LA, she would have just been working retail in Karstadt. America may now be eroding, but she was still able to network and get on TV without much tangible skills.
I'm a Persian pop priestess, that's my job.
In 2011, she had a kid with Michael Jackson's nephew.
God damn.
That would have been an impossibility if she stayed in Germany.
Only in America.
I'm happy for an immigrant from Iran who went to Germany to then go to America and make something of herself. Her music career was not going anywhere.
The dope that I smoke.
But she's overall a decent woman, and she was an original Shahs member. Her replacement, we're gonna get to her. That was a far inferior replacement, believe me.
That's being real.
She may exhibit the same footwear as the GOAT, but can she ball like the GOAT? Next one is Mike. Initially the beefcake of the show, the eye candy for the ladies.
I'm an alpha male.
No, I'm not.
The typical irony of that generation, wanna be Italian.
Growing up, we had to pretend like we weren't, like we were Italian or something.
We had to say we were Italian growing up.
Growing up, I would pretend I'm Mexican and an Italian.
Nah, bruv. You wanted to say you're Italian, to indulge your own mafia fantasies. Some Iranian Goodfellas, Javad Pesci and Ali Cappuccino, Khubfellas, an aging lover who's been struggling over the years to transition into the provider role. The Mike likes to play Switzerland, so everyone can like him.
I love Jermaine. I think he's a f***ing good man.
Yes, you're a real hero.
Because the Mike likes to be liked.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
My parents love Mike.
If I could be like Mike.
Here's my thing with Mike. He has the typical sleazeball California salesman personality. Oh my god, you're so awesome.
The most amazing fans ever.
And you're amazing. You can accomplish anything. But at his core, isn't a pathological hustler.
Mike, you're not a hustler.
Guaranteed this is the best show.
No.
Because at his core, he's actually a nice guy. He's not like the Shia LaBeouf character in American Honey.
Knock on doors.
You're not gonna knock on people's door.
Hi! What does that material feel like to you?
I don't know about that.
That's boyfriend material. Hi, yeah, I was just explaining to your daughter what...
That is my man Shia right there. Only a few people have that Don King sell ice to the Eskimos character. Mike just went into that real estate agent direction because he was too much of a good time boy to finish his law degree.
Because I dropped out of law school.
In terms of his love life, first of all, I did not like that fake Italian Jessica.
I cannot fake the funk.
How are you Italian just because you've got a vowel at the end of your name? These people this, these people that.
Who cares about these people?
This show is about Iranians.
I never, ever.
She was a bratty princess who thought she could hook up with a reality TV dude and have a fairy tale happily ever after ending. No, babes, you married a goof. He's a good dude.
I never,
but you were not the right woman for him.
Ever.
You could not bring the man out of the goofball.
I cannot fake the funk.
Because you yourself are a bratty princess.
I never. Shut up.
Then, as the aging lover hit 40, he hooked up with the late 20s Persian Jewish single mother of 2. Here's the thing, right? Typically, you'd say avoid dating single mums if you don't have kids of your own. But he's 40, and she's both younger and his type. Once you touch 40, these are the years where pragmatism starts to kick in like a mother. Oh, men age like, you know, fine wine, and women age like stale milk. Shut up. We've got about a 10-15 year advantage on women at best. You can't be looking at 21-year-old girls anymore in terms of long-term settling down. You've got to start thinking pragmatically as opposed to super idealistically. I want the 22-year-old super duper hottest woman in the world to have kids and settle down forever.
She never would have looked at me the way she did at him.
bro, this is real life.
Yes.
If he was super rich, maybe, or more realistically, if he was more serious 10 years ago, he could have met a Paulina type who was childless. But she is a seemingly nice woman and the hottest on the show. Just she went too far with the chorizo lips.
When you were calling them to...
You've already got round features. You don't look like you're gonna have like no lips, like... So whenever Caucasian women get too much on the upper lip, it looks fake. It's like, babes, you're pretty. You didn't have to go there with the chorizos. On the subject of older men with younger women, we're going to be looking at two cameo appearance cast members, Shiva Safai and Mohammed Hadid.
We met at a restaurant. It was just so random, and it was that instant connection.